this had the potential of being the best episode so far, and yet this is the worst episode so far.
It's funny how that works.
I know, because it's a battle scene I cared nothing about. I had no idea where anything was coming from. It was like they attacked during the day, which is cool, right? But then it was night, like in the next. It was just so disjointed. I had no idea what was going on.
Like actors just appear out of nowhere, like Galadriel, and she just appears like, oh, convenient. Oh, how'd you get there? Well, there's this secret dwarf tunnel, and that no one's ever even talked about before, but it's here. It's
dude.
convenient.
I was like, what dwarf tunnel?
It's like, what is this dwarf tunnel you speak of?
I was like,
it's like what we really now need here is a dwarf tunnel.
Yeah, I know it's a dwarf tunnel. Yeah, speaking of Galadriel, and like I thought it was hilarious. They're charging, like they're like that Elrond and his army are just gonna wreak some havoc, right?
Right.
And then it's Galadriel, and everyone stopped.
I mean, do you really think that that's gonna stop the momentum? I mean, some of the guys probably couldn't even see. Like, hey, what are we stopping for? Let's keep going.
You have to be able to suspend disbelief, obviously, right? Like when in Khazad-dûm, when Gandalf got sucked down the hole, like he fell into the pit, right, into the chasm, fighting the Balrog. I'm like, oh, that could happen. I mean, I was like, I was into like,
oh yeah, that was.
It was huge. Like, all right, yeah, but it was like that could never happen. That could never happen in real life. But I'm like you're not thinking about it because you're like thinking of like, well, he's a Maiar. This could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It's like there was never a moment of like disbelief. Right. Like here, completely takes me out of it, and it's not even as dramatic as Gandalf, fighting a Balrog.
Right. I mean, when you weave a spell of story, you can make people believe anything is possible. And I actually do think Gandalf fighting a Balrog is totally possible.
Yeah.
But,
I'm just saying,
but like my point is,
he braced himself.
If he braced himself, but within the context of that world, of that universe that Tolkien made, it's perfectly in sync with everything he laid out as what is like permissible within that framework. But here, even though much less quote unquote unbelievable things are actually happening, like this is not big Balrog fighting through like enormous endless hole and fighting on the way down. This is just someone stopping a charge by revealing a prisoner. It's no big deal. It's no big deal, but it's done so poorly that it prevents us from suspending our disbelief.
Right. So the problem that I have with this scene is like, again, you got full charge, and they're 10. They are like what? 10 yards out.
Yeah, 10 yards out. Why is the guy way over on the wing stopping?
What would have made more sense is if they came up over the horizon and like they're like, what's that in the middle of the battlefield? It's like, oh my God, they got Galadriel. Oh, and
let's send an emissary down to parley.
Right, and the thing is like this leads into them parlaying anyway.
Welcome, Commander Elrond.
Did everybody like become like super silent where Adar can be like, I just whisper?
Do you really think that like Elrond would be able to hear him?
Yeah,
like,
no.
It's like he's literally whispering.
Dude, I had to turn up the TV to hear what the said. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like a captive audience.
Like, you need to project, bro. It'd be nice to be able to hear him, but they're whispering again.
Yeah.
I will meet you there.
So the whole setup here is for Adar to get his hands on Elrond's ring. How does he know what the ring's going to do, first of all? How could he possibly wield this ring or know its powers? Or, it's supposed to help elves. What would it do for him?
Right, but
I mean,
when did he learn about the rings?
The 3 rings, I don't know that he did.
How does he know? I mean,
not only that, but it's like, how does he know that holding this ring would do him any good? Suddenly, it's like it's written into his dialogue that he needs rings, but why? Why would he know about rings? Why would he need them? What would he do with rings? Does he know what the dwarves are doing with their rings? How could he?
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no reason for him to know that there's any rings.
With her head on a pike.
With a head on a pike.
It's pretty cool.
If that is to be the way of things, it's not to be held farewell.
He looks like, ooh, I'm so angry.
He's unarmed.
He's unarmed.
I know.
He's got a skeleton key in his trousers.
Okay, it's your mother-in-law. He took off the thing. Like, that's gone now.
Right. The pin, the brooch.
The pin is gone.
The brooch.
But it was on when he came in, right?
Right.
So Adar wouldn't have noticed that. Like, as astute as that orc is.
Yeah. I guess
He was
not.
like, hey, where's that thing?
But do you really think for no reason they're just going to let him have like a conjugal visit here in the midst of their
know.
prison? I mean, he's practically, you know what I mean?
Maybe Adar is like the Middle Earth Diddy.
Nice. What? Record scratch.
Come on.
Oh, see, they didn't even move their lips. It was like very robotic. She's thinking like, well, that was disappointing.
Now I know why I friend zoned him all those years ago.
He looks like he's looking down like, oh, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
Friend zoned again.
Yeah.
But
They're
like,
just
like,
standing
look,
around,
they're just
like-
standing
like-
there. They're not like they didn't pat him down. They're taking this orc's word for it. Like, he's unarmed. He's unarmed. But it's like the low security, basically. They're
I know.
touching, like they're hand-to-hand contact down there in the lower right.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
There it goes.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Yeah.
where he handed it off.
like, come on, orcs.
Ora Hill.
You call yourself guards?
I know. And then like, oh, where'd that thing go? Hey,
Hey.
where'd that thing go?
Hey, wasn't he wearing a
The enemy
brooch
outnumber us 10 to
when he
1.
came
Yeah.
in here?
So why the confidence? Istan enu yada orthos mista.
I'm
And
just
what is
whispering.
that? Erin and Durin.
But they're just like they're just talking, like no big
Yeah,
deal.
like no big deal.
Granted, it's in send it in Elvish, but still, whatever.
Look at this guy over his shoulder.
I know.
Delia.
Is that supposed
Dude,
to be? Is that supposed to be a taunt?
Right. It's like you ever go to those haunted houses where like all those guys running around like all scary, and you're like, hey, let's go and get some ice cream, fellas. You know.
Stay on Elrond for a second, okay? We're asked to really care about this horse. Did we know he had an important horse that he really liked? I mean, first of all, it looks like the horse is on fire right now.
Yeah, I know. He's
But,
burning
like-
out of his neck.
But like, was this horse introduced as does he have a name? Does he have a history? It needs to be given weight before this moment so that we can feel something.
Yeah.
It has no weight
I-
because we were never introduced to this horse, and so I feel nothing for this horse. I don't
Well,
know.
maybe this was the horse he was riding when Galadriel was trying to take the 3 rings from him.
I think it was, but
Oh well, I care about him now.
Torbat!
she's gone.
Oh,
She's still in the camp. Find her.
The captive Galadriel has escaped from him, and you'd think that he would be searching for her desperately through his camp, because he said, I don't know how he knew this, but he's like, she hasn't left the camp yet. I mean, he must be psychic.
well, he's
psychic.
smart.
He's smart.
yeah.
He has ESP.
He's too smart for that, but he's not smart enough to not let Elrond kiss Galadriel.
And give
I mean-
her her means of escape. But so here it is.
I
Here he
know.
is. It's like, is he desperately searching? No, he's just wandering very slowly, very like plodding through his orcs, and he's kind of he's giving them a little goodbye prayer when they die.
Right.
Right.
Did
It shows him, oh, he's a good guy. Whatever. She's seeing it. She's like, oh, look, he has a good soul or whatever. But it's like, it's unbelievable, because why would he be sitting there kneeling by these dead orcs and like kind of praying over them when he should be looking for her? Why isn't he looking
Right.
for her?
and again, this is really, really nitpicky, right?
Hmm.
What I'm about to say. But one, why is your hair not pulled back? Two, why don't you at least put mud on your face? Like
Right.
You went through all this trouble. Like, is she afraid of getting dirty?
Why put your hair out there? It's like, oh, by
I
the way,
know,
I'm
it's like
Galadriel. It's like- so she's walking down this path, and someone says, "Look at that pretty hair." So the golden hair gives her
Oh,
away. How convenient, right?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what, like, it's just dumb, convenient writing. Like, it's like, well, the hair has to be outside of there, else we
So,
can't have.
so she could say, "Look at that pretty hair," right? But I mean, you look at it one way, like this passing orc, she might just be paying Galadriel a compliment.
Right.
Look at that pretty hair, and look at what happens to this poor orcess, who says, look at that pretty hair." Look at what happens.
Around here. Darn it.
She gets arrowed in the forehead for paying Galadriel a mere compliment.
Compliment.
Like, look at that
It
pretty
doesn't
hair.
pay to be nice. It doesn't pay to be nice and be an orc.
The orcs have it rough. They can't even win for losing. It's like they try to be nice, but look where it gets them.
Yeah.
So no wonder they're
Nowhere.
so mean.
Exhibit A.